In this AAP interview, we get to know the Creative Capital Arts Trust, a non-profit organisation established to support creative life in Aotearoa's capital city. Every year, the Trust holds two key events, Cuba Duper and the New Zealand Fringe Festival. The New Zealand Fringe Festival is an open-access theatre festival that takes place over 3 weeks in venues across Wellington. Cuba Duper is a program street festival combining local and national artists to offer an inclusive experience that brings Cuba Street to life. Today, we kōrero with Cuba Duper's festival coordinator, Bianca Bailey, to discuss all things festival volunteering. You are currently the festival coordinator of Cuba Duper, but you've been volunteering in the arts sector in lots of different ways for quite a few years. So do you want to just share some of your volunteering roles that you've been involved with?
Yeah, so I started volunteering for music events when I was in high school. The first thing that I ever volunteered for was probably the Auckland Folk Festival, and have been attending and volunteering for years. I started out with the regular old volunteer, and then I helped start setting up their merch and running the merch for the festival for a couple of years as well. And then when I moved down to Poneke, I started volunteering for Aigam Music Collective, who run a weekly Wednesday gig night and also run a festival called Welcome to Nowhere, doing very similar stuff, just helping selling merch and organising people, getting them from A to B. Yeah.
And it's obviously a great way to meet people. That's how we met each other, was at the merch tent.
Yes.
But what else is, like, volunteering at festivals is really quite special because you get to be part of this whole, big process that all these people from all over New Zealand and all over the world sometimes get to enjoy. So what is it about volunteering at music festivals and music events that you love so much?
I think I am so passionate about music and I love it so much, and so it's an area where I feel like any way that I can sort of get involved and support the arts in general is something that's super rewarding. So first of all, most importantly, I think, is just being involved and being able to do something that's supporting the arts. And also it's really a really awesome way to sort of find your feet and start being connected in the music industry, or feeling like you sort of know how everything operates and works. I think before I started working for Cuba Duper, I didn't really know how to sort of get started or start finding my feet as a musician. So the best way for me to sort of get going with that was just to start volunteering for things. And it was so great to be able to start meeting all of these different people who are just going to be really thankful for you for volunteering your time and would also help you out later, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. So what skills do you think you learned that have really helped you with this festival coordinator role?
I actually think that one of the biggest skills that I learned, and particularly through Aigam as well, when I first started emailing and sort of talking to people. I think it's so silly because I think it's one of the skills that's maybe least connected with specifically with music, but was actually just getting a little bit more confident in terms of meeting people and putting myself out there, and also getting confident with email writing. Obviously that's such a huge part of my job now, but before I started volunteering for these organizations, I didn't know how to send a professional email and that kind of stuff, which I feel like is really silly. But no, I think that was the best thing that I learned prior to coming into sort of a professional job in the music industry was actually just learning how to talk to people face to face and how to write emails.
Yes, very important skill.
Very important.
And so our participants can volunteer with the Wellington Fringe Festival, and they can also volunteer with Cuba Duper, which both fall under the Creative Capital Arts Trust banner. So do you have examples of, if someone does sign up to volunteer with you and the team, what they could be doing?
Yeah, so there's a couple of different things. For New Zealand Fringe Festival, we have volunteers who help us with the box office. So that's more of a people-orientated or people-fronting job when there are fringe shows on. We have volunteers who just obviously help scan in and check in tickets, and then you get to watch a fringe show, which is pretty awesome. And then with Cuba Duper, we have heaps of different things. One of the things that we're working on really hard is to try and get more waste warriors for the festival, to try and help with our sort of landfill diversion rates and making sure that people are putting their rubbish in the right places. And then we also have other stuff like artist liaisons who help our sort of out of town guests get from A to B, from their hotel to their performance stage. Yeah.
Oh, well, I want to volunteer next year.
It is a lot of fun.
Yeah, and it is so much about meeting people. I think that's a really cool thing. You get to, if you're an artsy student and you don't really know a lot of other music people, or if you want to watch free shows, that's a good place. But I feel like it's a great way to meet people from potentially other schools that you might not have met otherwise. So yeah, I'm really excited about this opportunity for our participants. And I might be there too. You might see me at the box office.
Absolutely.
Volunteering with Creative Capital Arts Trust is an exciting way to complete a portion of your voluntary service hours. You can count a maximum of 1 hour per week towards your voluntary service section, or if you have not completed any service hours 28 days prior to volunteering, then you can count 4 hours towards your award. If you already have an activity set up under the service section, you will need to set up an additional activity with an appropriate assessor from Creative Capital Arts Trust.